Hello everyone. So I thought I'd make a video today, give everyone kind of an update of how I've been doing since the surgery. If you've been following along, I had a feeding tube surgery done about 10 days ago now. So I've been using that. If you remember before that, for about a month and a half, I had one out of my nose. That was a temporary setup. One of the good news is about this is this is actually what I eat now. It's a formula, but it's actually tailored to extra protein and everything I need to be able to take care of my needs and what the liver isn't needs as well in addition to it. Because when you have liver disease, you do need extra protein because your body doesn't process it properly. And if you wind up not ingesting enough protein, your body kind of starts eating itself. It starts eating its muscles. And, one of the things that you'll notice, one of the first things people get liver disease is the fact that they lose their muscle mass. And that's because the body starts looking to get its protein from somewhere else. It's going to find a way. And once it takes it from your actual muscles on the outside of your body, it's going to start taking it from the inside. And that's when things start getting really dangerous. The last time when I was hospitalized, when they put the hose in my nose, I was extremely malnourished at the time. I'd lost 40 pounds and I wasn't doing very well at all. And that hospital stay was definitely not a very good one. But they did definitely make up for it on this last surgery. They were on top of everything. Everything went smoothly. I had a great surgeon. So all that's been working out. Now, when I talk about the liver disease, you may say, oh, well, I got liver disease. Am I going to be on a feeding tube? No. I have, in addition to the liver disease, hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. That is a connective tissue disorder that affects the collagen in your body, and you have multiple layers of different collagen throughout your body, in your joints, in your skin, in your organs, in the connective tissue in your organs. There's a lot of that in there, and what happens is the connective tissue doesn't form properly, so your joints wind up being loose, and you can wind up doing things like bend your hand all in kind of, funny shapes and stuff, and do all kinds of goofy stuff like that. They call those, the party tricks to, show off, things. Now, if you have double jointedness, that does not mean you have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. There is actual full criteria, and I will make a video on that coming up here soon about how they diagnose that and all of that. But for now, I kind of wanted to keep this to the how I'm doing and everything. So it's 10 days now. This is the formula that I take. The nice thing about this is it's tailored to my needs. It's got extra protein in it so that I'm able to get in what I need. I have to take 5.5 of these a day, and that goes in to this tube right here, and there's a valve on it, and use these syringes, and you got to rinse it out. You got to run water through it, and then you ingest the food by pushing it through the tube. And I don't know if we can just kind of goes right in the stomach there, and that feeds directly in the stomach, and they pin the stomach to the abdomen so that it's all connected. Now, a feeding tube can be dangerous with somebody that has the liver disease because of the fact that when you gain fluids, if you know that you've had liver disease, you probably had some kind of ascites before, fluid buildup in the stomach, in the lung maybe, in the legs, what have you. Well, if that fluid builds up in my stomach, it can pull that tube out and it could breach, and that could be very bad, as well. There was a big risk for the surgery because my stomach is completely covered in varices. They're not just in my esophagus. My organs are completely wrapped in them. One of the neat things about the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, well, I consider it neat, is that because of the fact that the connective tissue was loose, it allowed my organs to move. And when it did that, it created room to make extra varices. What are varices? Varices are over-enlarged blood veins that are done that way because of the fact that your portal vein, that main artery that goes through the liver, gets blocked off because your liver gets hard when it goes bad. And that pinches that off, and that creates pressure. And that pressure buildup winds up going through and causing these varices. Now, the reason why I have so much is because the organs moved to allow extra, but because the organs moved, it took all that pressure off my liver. So I don't have that backup in my portal vein, because the veins have all become extremely large. They've all become large varices because of that. So where it can be dangerous, it's also what has kept my liver staying even for the most part. I still get fights with hepatic encephalopathy. If I'm on my feet too long, I'll get fluid build up my legs, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, the liver has, calmed down. So I do have multiple hernias as well that were caused by the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. You can get like belly button hernias and things from having liver disease. I have a couple groin hernias that actually started growing before I was even diagnosed with liver disease. I did drink for a couple years. I did only drink for about 2 years. And during that time, I actually quit twice for 3 months. So really, it was 1.5 to 2 years, let's just say. I was drinking much heavier than I should have been, for sure. But, the doctors have said that my liver had been failing for a long time, and I just wound up, throwing the nail in it, by drinking those 2 years. So I definitely pushed it along, where it might have been years before I started problems, and I wound up, it affected me so quickly because of the fact that the liver was already damaged. They actually say that about 50% of Americans have some kind of fatty liver disease. A lot of it has to do with the fast food that we eat. We're always on the go. We don't have time to be able to exercise as much. Because let's face it, in order to make ends meet, we're working a couple jobs. If you're husband and wife family, you're both working to support everything. So that's hard to do for some people, but it is so important. Whether you got liver disease or not, I can say that I never ate healthy in my life until I started getting liver disease. For the past 3 years now, I've been eating better. But over the last year, it got so bad that I could barely eat anything. Everything I would eat would get stuck. Multiple times I've had to go to the ER because food got stuck in there for over 7 hours, or they even had food stuck in there once for 48 hours. And they had to send me in and do a scope on it to get it out. Now that I got the feeding tube, I'm able to just ingest that, put that fluid in there, and it skips the esophagus completely. So that helps that too. It is still a little painful. It is one of those things that you got to get used to, for sure. Now I've got this hose just hanging out in my stomach, kind of gets caught on my shirts and stuff like that, but that's not the end of the world. It's not really a big deal. I try to stay positive with all of it, and I am positive with it because of the fact that now that I'm able to get the right formula, I feel a lot better. I'm not feeling so worn down all the time. I'm not feeling out of energy constantly. I feel a lot better since I've been able to take on the formula for the past couple months. So that has definitely made a difference. So I definitely got to say that if you have things going on, and you've been to doctors and they tell you that, oh, well, maybe it's stress or maybe it's that, but these things can't keep happening, don't give up. There are some really hard to diagnose diseases out there that sometimes you got to do a little research on your own and kind of look up the different symptoms that you have. I definitely don't recommend, doing the Google search and going, oh, I got this, and this. And let's face it, most doctors don't like you going in and saying, I think I have this. The reason why I found the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is because I came across a TikTok video, actually. And everything kind of clicked. When you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, you also get like stretch marks, but they're in places that you would never have them, even if you never had extra weight. I got them all up and down my arms like this. Scars are inverted, so they make little divots, like little valleys. Scars will show up like that. Some people can get easily bruised skin to where they bruise very easily. I don't, for myself. That's one thing I don't get, which is good, because some people bump their arm on just one small thing and they've got a giant bruise everywhere. So I'm glad I don't have that. That doesn't happen. Pain medicines don't really work. Anesthesia takes extra. And I gotta say, getting diagnosed for it was such a help, because when I had the surgery, they knew that, and they were able to adjust accordingly to my needs because of it. They knew that they would need extra anesthesia to keep me down because of it. Also, normally when I get anesthesia, when I go for like a scope or what have you, I feel the burn going through my veins when the anesthesia hits, and it lasts for a while before I fall asleep. And then I know that when it starts hurting like crazy, it feels like a hot poker going through your skin, right where the IV is. And I guess a lot of people don't feel that, but I do, because it takes a lot more extra to get me to fall asleep. But the anesthesiologist I had knew that, and they gave me some other drugs that were able to help me fall asleep the first tier without any pain or anything, and then went to the second tier after that. So for the first time ever, I'd been put to sleep and I didn't feel any of that burn or that pain like I normally do, which was super nice that they were able to do that and that they took the time with it. That was huge for me. I do have to go back next week. It's about a 4-hour drive, so I'm gonna have to make the drive myself. So I'm hoping that everything goes well with that. My truck needs some work, so hopefully I can figure that out before that, but we do what we gotta do. With that said, I do have a GoFundMe connected to the page. It's in the About section if anybody wants to help me in the process of trying to get the repairs done that I need to do. That would be, grateful of you. It is not required. I don't do these videos for that. I do these videos to help people and know that you're not alone. That is why I do them. But that little bit does help when the people are able to. But again, if, not everyone can, and please don't if you can't. So I want to say thank you to everybody who has followed along and liked my videos, the comments. Once again, I'm so grateful to the comments. So many wonderful things that all of you say and talk about it, and talk about your life situations, things. And I do try to answer as many as possibly as I can. Sometimes I do miss some of them, and I apologize for that. But I am trying to get a little better at that. So, but anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching this video. I hope everyone has a blessed and amazing day, and take care.